Hello again. So today we're gonna make the second of the placemats that we started a couple of weeks ago. So if you remember, a couple of weeks ago we made that one. So the interesting or the important bit about that was how to turn the sides rather than, you know, the actual weaving. So, and this is all done in taki, so over one, under one. Yeah? Go. And today we are going to make another one, but in Taki Rua. So over two, under two. And because the turning in the sides is slightly different. So I'm leaving, I warn you right now. So I'm actually not showing how to lay it, how to lock it off, none of that, because that's already been shown, well, in other videos, but also in this one in particular. So there will be a link at the end of this video to this one. So if you're unsure how to do these sort of things, look this one up first. Well, you should anyway. And you know, if you're a complete beginner, that isn't the project for you. So you may watch it, but yeah, find something a little bit easier. So I basically just show the turning of the sides. Really, essentially, that's what it is. For this one, I'm using again 40 whenua, 40 strips. So 20 in each direction of my, what I call my normal width, which is 12 mil or 1.2 centimeters, you know, sort of that kind of width. You can make them with a narrower width or with a wider, but you have to adjust the length or the actual size of the item, you know. But anyway, let's jump into it. Back. So I've got 40 whenua. They basically left over from other projects. For this one, you know, it will be alright. They 12 mil width. That's what I call my normal width. So, you know, there's my marker that I use for that. And, you know, I didn't even have all natural, so I'm using some of my leftover kind of bluish turquoise whenua from another project. And these are a bit longer. But essentially, you know, that's what I have. So I'm going to make this roughly the same size as this one that we made a couple of weeks ago. Only difference being, so this one is taki, right? Over one, under one. This one obviously is going to be over two, under two for most of the way. Now I always start, you know, the bottom and I finish the top with taki. It just makes it a lot easier, and I would highly encourage you to do the same. Now you can always make it more complicated and more intricate and you know, whatever, but for sake of argument, just bear with me. So we lay them the same way as we done with this one, and I don't think I need to show you that because you already know how to do that by the time you reach this video. So you lay them like a kete whakairo or like this mat before. If you're unsure, just look up this video or any of my kete whakairo videos. And then I'll meet you when I'm at the end here and ready to turn the sides. So they're going to do, you know, I'm going to lock the bottom off as well. Same as this. Same as that here. And then once I've woven a little bit further up, that's when I meet you again. Welcome back. Right. So, we've laid it and we've locked the bottom off. Before you, hang on, there we go. So, you know, bottom locked off, all taki. I haven't tidied this one up yet. Right. So, now at the moment, we're still kind of going on this angle. So, and it's still taki. So for a start, we need to get them all up to the same height before we can even start Taki Rua. So, as before, we just turn them in. That's really all we do, right? And secure it I always secure that kind of last one there, and the same on this other side. Right. There we go. Basically just the same as what we've done, you know, for this one. Same kind of thing. So far it's all the same. Right. There we go. Now we want to go over 2 under 2. So we're going from our Taki Tahi, over 1 under 1, to Taki Rua, over 2 under 2, which is the most basic pattern. So over 2, pull back, over 2, pull second back, there you go. So over 2, under 2. Zoom in a little bit more. And I normally do that for about 2 or 3 rows. Just to, you know, get a bit of a height. Obviously this is going to be a small mat, so that's as high as I usually go. There we are. Now, you may find that sometimes they loosen up a little bit. They tend to do that. Now, while they're still weaving, that's why I only weave up a couple of rows at a time. I can still manipulate them and pull them down to straighten things out. There you go. Right. Peg it so you know where you are. There you go. Now to the tricky bit. How do you turn the sides on a Taki Rua? So you pull them back as if you were before, right? So imagine, that's the imagine part. So originally you would have had another one here, and then one would come over, imagine, 2, under 2, over 2, under 2. Now obviously you don't have any 2 anymore, so you need to work something out. And the best way to do that is just give it a bit of a try. Because you may want to eventually use different patterns, and each and every one of them will be different how you turn the sides in. Let's say on the Harakeke, if you make a nice big pattern on it, there will come a time when you just have to work things out, how to have a tutu. So what you can do is, of course, you can just turn this one, because it needs to go under anyway, right? And then just weave it in as you would. But then you have a problem if you now turn this one. Oh yeah, now that would still work. This is how you work things out. So you turn that one. Right. This one. And then you can't really turn that one yet, because, you know, there's nothing there. So you just, oops, I should have taken that one out. Peg it. Right, now, on this one you can do it on the shiny side. If you find it too complicated though, and some people do for some reason, because on the right hand side it's pretty straightforward. You just turn it around and weave that bit on the reverse, same as you've done with the other one. Right, just turn it in. Go. it in. But obviously that works fine if you do something as small as this. If you do a Harakeke, well, you know, you can't always, every time you reach the side of it, turn the Harakeke, so you need to work out a different way of doing it. So for start, hang on, leave up a little bit higher. Keep in mind that these are pretty short, so we can't go as high as we probably would like. So start off your another 2 rows of Taki Rua, and that's probably as high as we would go, I think. Yeah. Right, so you've done the right hand side. Yeah, just turn them in as before. And now we're going to try and do that side on the shiny side. Because if you make something large, you can't always turn it. And it doesn't always work. You need to kind of, I don't know, think outside the square. So your last whenu, so the thinking process is really, you just follow along what you have been doing here. So you see, you know, like we went over 2, under 2, over 2, under 2. Right, so this is over 2. So now we want to go over 2, right, under 2. So we're thinking backwards. Over 2, under 2. And turn it in, just like before. Right. So now we want to go over 2, under 2, over 2. So basically, you need to reverse your thinking. Put one back, one goes down, one goes up. Up, down. So now that's how you do it. There is another way. Well, there's actually a couple more ways. There is another way whereby you can drop out of whatever pattern you're doing, be it Taki Rua or be it something more elaborate, and drop out of that pattern about 2-3 rows before you reach the either side of it, and sort of make a border just with takitahi. That's another and probably more secure version of how to do this. But essentially, you know, you're doing the same sort of thing, you just turn them in. Although with Taki Rua, it doesn't look as, you know, as secure. So we're getting really, really short now. So what I'm doing now is I'm getting out of Taki Rua, back into takitahi to lock off. And that's basically the same way as I've done earlier. I just follow them along, like so. Probably about 2 rows. I won't get more out of this. I think that will be about it. And that's really there is to it. And then just lock the other side off. And there's your little placemat. And because you're using Taki Rua, it will get really, you know, you can make them sort of large fairly quick rather than doing it all the way in takitahi. But that's just quick is relative in terms of weaving, of course. you know, quicker maybe. There you go. And see how that color band, if you started on one corner and you're not weaving up too high, it basically finishes on the other corner. And that gives it a nice little, you know, excuse me, little focus point. You can make a pattern in there, you can, you know, put a niho taniwha in there maybe or something. So you reach the other side, there you go, and then just do what you've done before, just turn the outside in. Easy peasy. Well, so I think. Right, do yourself a favor and double check that you get the corners or the sides fairly straight, that there are no kind of humongous kind of things, you know, with places you think, oh, maybe not as straight as it could be. And then all you need to do is basically just lock the other side off, that bit, and that's it. So considering it's just a follow on, it's really just a follow on from this one. So I've explained a lot in the tutorial for the Taki Rua one, you know, the lock off the sides, you know, that sort of thing. And this is just a different version of the same thing. Only that the middle pattern is slightly different and that the turning in is also slightly different. Not a lot really. But other than that, so what you need to do is obviously, you know, you build up to your 2 up, 2 down again, so you can lock off. Oops, drag that one back. And yeah, keep in mind that some of them are really short. There we go. So you build it up and then you just lock it off like you would a normal double, ooh, getting a bit short, lock. So yeah, this one is really, really short. Normally I would undo it and just go one down, but for demonstration purposes, plus this one comes on top. So there you go, just finish this right to the end, cut the sides off, and that's all there is to it. And I'm sure you will love making these, you know, quick and easy. You can use paper, you don't have to, you can use bark. Well, you know, all sorts of other materials. You can make the top different, you can make the zigzag top if you want, or you can just turn it in. You don't need to lock it off like this, by all means, you know, if you want to feel like be creative, be creative. Rightio, so tidied up the back, right, and so this is the front. Cool, so that was the bottom, turn it around, oh, missed a bit. So you can make these in all sorts of different sizes, colors, you name it. The turning in is essentially just working out what works. Now there are some patterns where you would have to go over 3 or even over 4 on the sides, and that's probably then the case when I wanted to put a band of takitahi on the sides, on either side, just to help with the turning. Otherwise it might become too loose depending on what you're making. Now these ones and this one here as well, they are the basic sort of form of a placemat, right? Now you can make these quite a bit bigger and with a couple more locks to make a folder. And I probably will show how to make one of those in my upcoming sort of Patreon channel. So that's something I've been working on for a while now, kind of you know, because it takes a long time to make these videos in terms of, you know, the actual making, the processing, the uploading, the whole shebang, and they're becoming a little bit more complex. Well, maybe not this one, but others. And so there will be like an exclusive, separate little channel where I pop those videos in. That's still in the working sort of stages, and it will include not just the weaving videos, but also another little side project that I started a while ago is my baking and cooking videos, being, you know, Saxon and all that. So I combine all those basically as exclusive content for paying subscribers, as it were. So they're getting everything. But, you know, these kind of things will still pop up periodically on my YouTube channel, so pop in. I will pop the link for this one at the end of this video, so you can refresh, you know, how to lay it and all that sort of thing, so you don't miss out on that. In any case, happy weaving, everybody. Enjoy.